Okay, last week we discussed the use of students creating their own visuals to show their learning. This week we're going to focus on um, you providing visuals and having students be able to respond. So some of the things I'm going to show you are a little bit comprehension based, but you could definitely take them and make them in analysis or application basis. I'm just going to kind of go through real quickly how you can do this very easily using technology that we already have. So inside Schoology, we have something called assessments. You can go to add materials and add assessment. And we're going to look specifically at two different types of assessments that are going to be very good for visuals, where you can ask an analysis question and have the students select the answer. Okay, so inside assessment, you go to questions. And in questions, I'm going to first show you hotspots. So if I click on hotspots, what this is going to do is it's going to let me actually take parts of an image and select areas of it to be created as hotspots that students can click on. So I can press upload image, and I've created a couple different images. I'm going to do one on geography real quick, and then I'm going to show a math one. So in here, this little draw tool right here is going to let me draw around my images. So sometimes the easiest way to do it, if it's a straight line, I could just click from straight line to straight line to straight line. And then I'm just clicking a whole bunch as I outline this country. So I could have really any visual in here. I'm just going to give an example. So the question I could ask here is, of course, comprehension based. I mean, I could do that if I wanted. Oh, let me delete this real quickly. See how I accidentally messed up a little bit. I was going too fast as I was talking. And so I could go in, I could ask a comprehension question of just identifying. Of course, I could do that. Likewise, I could ask a analysis question like, which geographical feature would have contributed most to, and then whatever it would be. Like maybe it's a war, maybe it's the use of impacting maybe goods and services or what have you, or which country would most likely rely on importing and exporting. And so that way it would make more sense that something connected to water. Okay. All right. So once I've done enough hotspots, now I can, of course, write my question, whatever question that might be. And then I'm going to go down and I can select the answer. So my answer, if it's this country, it's that country. If it needs to be both countries, I can click on multiple responses. And then I would be able to do multiple ones. So students, if they had to identify two things, you could do this on an image of a cell. You could do this on an image of a any kind of visual. I'm just going to save real quickly, and then I'm going to go show you what this is going to look like as a student in this preview question. So I click back on there. I'm going to go to preview question. As a student, I would have my question up here, and then I would be able to click on whatever I want to click on, and I can press save, and that would really be like submitting it. Okay. All right, that can also be used in math really easily. I'm just going to show you real quickly, and then we're going to go on to our next one. So I can, here we go. Let's say we have this one. I'm going to ask students to find the coordinate of -2 and 0. So I can go in, and now I can draw. I'm going to just draw around my dots. And the benefit of this is it does let you do a couple different things with different shapes that you might not otherwise get to do. Of course, you could take this and make this multiple choice, but I'm sure if you're a math person out there, you probably just thought of a million ideas of how you could use this. And then I'm going to select what the correct answer is, and I can't remember what I said. Maybe it was, I really can't remember the numbers I said, so I'm going to go ahead and click what I'm saying is the correct answer. I'm going to press save. And then when the students are taking it, they're going to be able to go in and click on whichever one it is. So, student view, they see this. So I can click there, or I can click there, either one. All right. Now, what if I want to do more than just do the hotspots? What if I actually want students to draw on an image? So I can go to highlight image. And my highlight image, I'm just going to real quickly, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make it visual. Let me show you how I can make a visual. So I'm going to take a chart I created inspired by the science learning assessment. And in the bottom of my corner, what I'm doing right now is I'm just typing in snipping tool. I'm going to use snipping tool to select File, save as, and then I can save this wherever I want. So we can do that. It's being saved as capture. I can upload my image. I can say attach file. And then obviously I already had it saved as stable, so I'm just going to use it. But that's how I could just take that there. I don't need to insert a question because the question is actually on it. If I say preview question, oh wait, I'm sorry, I have to save. Give me a second. After I save, I'm able to go back in on some of the questions. Some of the questions don't like you moving back and forth. So here we go. And so now I'm going to preview question. And so it says circle the variables and underline the unit. And so I can, as a student, I can even color code. I can circle my variables and I can underline my unit. You could do this very easily in all sorts of different things. These are friendly for the online app. I know it looks like it might be Flash, but it's not actually using Flash. So I know it was a longer video than normally I give, but these two types of assessment questions are really valuable and let you do some things that some paperless options that you might not otherwise be able to do. So you can have these interactive components, and then you can also have those multiple choice components within the same question, because you can always add multiple choice. You can always add true, false for those same visuals. There's another one that's a label image. Science teachers might like that. History teachers might like that, where you go in and you can actually label parts of those images. So assessments is a great thing to play around with. I highly encourage you to be able to play with all that stuff because it adds a level of interactivity. The one downside of assessments is that it is not as quick to give feedback if something's right or wrong. Obviously, this you would have to hand score it, but you'd have to hand score it if it was paper anyway. So that's just a little bit, a couple things to know about assessments is that they take longer to grade. Or you have to wait, even if it's multiple choice, you have to wait about 10 minutes for it to finish grading out. It's not as instantaneous like that the students like to use. So there is assessments in a nutshell. Let me know if you need anything or you have any questions on how to use any of these tools.